still lesson 9, and you're going to open up sequence 06 Enhance. This here one is going to demonstrate how to put a drop shadow on your text. So go ahead and open up your sequence, and you'll actually want to switch to effects mode so you can get your effects panel to come up, because we'll be using that to do this drop shadow. So make sure you have your clip selected, and then that's the one that you're going to be working with. You'll go to video effects, and you're going to look in perspective. And remember, I've mentioned you can search up here in the search box as well if you already know what you're looking for. In perspective, you find drop shadow, you left click, and you can drag it straight onto your clip like such. And since I have this clip already highlighted, you can look over here and you can see the drop shadow has been applied as an effect. And granted, we don't see a whole lot just yet because we've only put it on there. And there's a lot of control. You can change the color, you can change the opacity. The book wants us to change our opacity to 85, so go ahead and change 50 to 85. And as we're doing this, you can notice there's a slight change here. It's a little bit more visible. It's also wanting us to change the direction. So 135, go ahead and drag it up to 320. And as you're doing this, pay attention to how it's affecting your text on the screen there. All right, so I got 319. You can always type it in if you don't hit it just right on the mark. But notice now it's kind of come up above the O here and the rest of the letters, but that's a really good one you can see it on. All right, it wants us to set our distance instead of 5, make it 15. And our softness, so you can see it got much bigger here. Basically, it's just spacing it out. The softness, it wants us to set to 25. So that will also kind of make it a little less obvious, but it might be more pleasing to the eye with that softness applied. And all of these, when you're using these effects such as drop shadow, it's never going to be the same. So you can't just go, oh, I'm going to reference my book and do the drop shadow exactly like we did it here with the Journey to New York. Depending on your font style, how big your text is, these numbers will all have to be adjusted to what visually looks good. So there is creativity in this. You're going to have to take some of your own liberties when you're doing your own work. But this is what the book is trying to show us. And this one I kind of feel like is a little bit too much, but I think it was over exaggerated slightly so you could see the adjustment that is done. So that is a drop shadow. And remember, all these buttons give you control. You can change the color and all the spacing and how soft or how hard the shadow is applied.